Hi there, welcome to Alpine Bravo. My name's Brendan. This is my channel for all things Microsoft Flight Simulator. Thank you for watching if you're coming in on view and demand, and also welcome if any of you are going to join watching me live. Continuing operations in the Seattle area in the Kodiak 100. And for today's flight, we have two legs. First of all, we are going from Kilo Hotel Quebec Mike, which is Bowerman, and the first leg is from Bowerman up to Bremerton National, so that's 63 nautical miles, and we'll be cruising at 3,500 feet. The should just take 23 minutes, and then for the second leg we're going to go from Bremerton across to WN76 Bergseth Field, which is a 1900 foot grass strip just to the southeast of Seattle, and that is a little bit shorter. That is a direct routing would be 37 nautical miles, but we're going through the Seattle Class Bravo, so we will have to take one of the VFR routes, which will just add a little bit of distance to that journey. Payload today, we've got 4 packs who are coming on here at Bowerman and going all the way through to Bergseth, and we've got 803 pounds of cargo to take from Bowerman that will be offloading at Bremerton, and we've got no additional payload to take on at Bremerton. So that is gonna, we've got £1,000 of fuel on board as well, so that's gonna give us a takeoff weight of 6,758 pounds, a center of gravity of 28.32. Performance wise, we've got plenty of runway here at Bowerman, that's 5,000 feet, and likewise up at Bremerton we've got nearly 6,000 feet, and the 2,000 feet of grass at Bergseth should be okay as well, but we'll have a look when we get there. If we can't land at Bergseth for whatever reason, Auburn Municipal S50 is probably going to be our best bet to divert there. Not expecting any IMC today. Icing might be an issue, but it should be clear skies and relatively light winds. Welcome if you've joined the stream. Just running through a departure briefing, which I'm pretty much finished now. So we will get on with starting our first leg from Bowerman up to Bremerton National. We should get some good views today. Any questions, just drop a message in the chat. It seems to take a few seconds for it to come through, but it's not too bad. Anyway, so our fuel and payload on board is checked. Pre-flight weight and balance is complete. Someone was asking me actually in one of the chats about loading cargo in OnAir, and I always load it for the Kodiak manually in each station. So we've got the cargo pod is maxed out, 750 pounds of cargo in the cargo pod, and then the remaining 53 pounds in that station there, and then we've got the 4 packs here. And the reason I do it manually is because if you try and auto load it in OnAir, it kind of will unrealistically load all the cargo into a single station, and this is a bit more realistic, and it means you have to think about the center of gravity, because the other thing you can't do in the that's changed. You never used to be able to adjust this actually. In fact, I can adjust it, but it doesn't have any effect on the center of gravity here. Yeah, it's always been like that. So the way you set it's purely by how you load the payload that sets the the center of gravity in the aircraft, so it's always worth doing it manually. In the Kodiak, one thing though I've noticed here is it's just auto-loaded with 50% fuel, which
fuel has been added during the flight.
I see.
78.50 to 85.94 gals.
OnAir didn't like that because it already started the tracking, so I will just have to get OnAir going again. It's kind of annoying, that actually, feature of OnAir. And I can bring OnAir up onto the screen actually, as you can see some of what I'm talking about. I'll just get the aircraft screen up. So there's our 1,000 pounds of fuel. There's our payload. Actually delayed delivering the passengers. It was a 3-leg job and I couldn't complete it all in time. And there we've got all our weights. Now there are some bugs in OnAir at the moment, which is it's counting the crew as part of the payload weight. So although I've got 4 passengers, if I actually in the aircraft just loaded 3 passengers, it would take 3 plus 1 for the pilot and treat that as 4. So it's not right. That's happened after one of the most recent updates. But yeah, so if I hit fly now, and then we're just going to check. In fact, you can see in the sim it says I've got 1,753 pounds, and it was only expecting 1,564. I'm going to go over because that is the realistic payload. Anyway, yeah, but now I've got my fuel synced up, so it should can get that tracking. And it's actually you can see there is Bremerton just up there, so we'll just be taking a direct VFR track, and then WN76 is down in this area here, sort of southeast of Seattle and around here. Not landed there before, so we'll be doing at least one overfly of it to make sure I got it well sussed out. Okay, so that's weight and balance. Passenger briefing is complete. All doors are latched, all seats, seatbelts and harnesses are adjusted and secure. Our master switch can go on. Master avionics, and I will initialize the MFD. Seems to take a it's not okay. I wonder why that button on my Bravo is not working. Just make sure that I've got
TOS system test okay.
yeah, I figured it out. If there's a problem, 9 times out of 10, it's the pilot that's the problem. Or some switcher dial isn't quite set up right. Okay, park and brake is set. Engine inlet can remain in normal. Fuel selectors left and right can go on. A firewall fuel shut off can be pushed. Power lever, emergency power lever is normal. Power lever is idle. Prop is favored. Condition lever is cut off. Wing flaps are up. Circuit breakers are pushed. Cabin heat is off. Takeoff torque limit will be 1740. And we will rotate at 61 knots. And just our landing 61 and 73. We have to come back round. Autopilot. Let's pop that on, and this is an untowered field, so I don't need to get clearance, but I will take the weather.
Kilo Hotel, Quebec Mike, automated weather observation, 2100 Zulu. Wind, 1 tree at tree. Visibility, 10. Sky condition, few clouds at 4,700 feet, 13,500 feet scattered. Temperature, 9 Earth C, dew point, 10 C, altimeter, tree 01 tree. Kilo Hotel, Quebec Mike, automated weather
Okay, it's
observation,
a pretty nice day. And with that wind direction, we'll be taking off runway 6. But I won't announce my taxi quite yet. Okay, get on with an engine start now. So bus voltages 25 shown, flashing beacon can go on, emergency power level is normal, auxiliary fuel pump can go on, and as indicated fuel flow 0. First flight of the day, so we will be going for a battery powered low motor start. So igniters on and starter on, fuel flow 0, NG rising, that's at 17, I'll bring it into low idle, on to ITT, NG rising, temperatures and pressures rising, KITT peaked at 573, prop can go to max, starter off, igniters off, auxiliary fuel pump standby, alternator and generators on, nav lights and taxi lights can go on. Pop on our climate control now. Test our oxygen and our ELT.
Stall.
Okay, and we'll just set up our G1000, EME1, bearing 1 on nav 1, bearing 2 on nav 2, and put the CDI to GPS. We'll put in our selected altitude of 3,500. And we'll put in a arm flight level change mode and put in 85 knots for the climb out. Okay, that's a good engine start. We'll announce our taxi, select a runway, Dubai. I didn't get to select a runway.
Kilo Hotel, Quebec Mike, traffic November for 9er Tree Kilo, is
we've already
taxiing to
selected
runway
in
6.
the World Flight Planner, World Map Flight Planner. Okay, so for our taxi, well, we're gonna basically turn back on ourselves, but basically from where we're pointing at the minute, we want to go left, take Alpha all the way down to the end of runway 6, and runway heading is 064. And the altitude is 18 feet. Now we haven't set our altimeter. And it was 3013. So 3013. And that's looking good. Okay, our taxi and departure briefing is complete. Well, our departure will be, we'll climb out runway heading, no turns below 500. Flaps to 10 at 85 knots, flat 0 at 95 knots. We'll pick up our turn to the left on a track of about 045 to pick up our track to the north to Bremerton. So that's our departure briefing. We don't need ATC clearance at this point, so our parking braces can come off. Prop forward a bit. I'll get a look round. Okay. Hi there, welcome if you just joined the stream. So we'll just taxi out down here on Alpha to the end of Alpha, runway 6. Rolling along here at about 10 knots, which is fine, that's nice and comfortable. So wind was at 116 at 3, so it's a fairly gentle crosswind. But this being Microsoft Flight Simulator, will probably feel like a 15 knot maximum demonstrated. Passengers having a good old chat in the back, they always seem to. That's good, it means they're happy. It's when they go quiet that you need to worry. Streaming in HD properly for the first time. I hope it's in HD. I'll set it up. I didn't realise I was streaming in a lower resolution before. Someone kindly left some feedback. Yeah, that looks like a 3 knots, just very gentle gusts. Okay, it's runway 6, identified, and we'll just bring it here, park and brake on, and just run through our full takeoff checklist. Park and brakes are set. The inertial lever, inertial wheel levers on, flight controls. Correct. Flight instruments. Alt select, barometer is good, flight director is on, and our GPS modes are as I want. Can zoom out the MFD now. Auxiliary fuel pump, go on for the takeoff. Fuel selectors, check left and right are open, firewall is pushed. Fuel quantity, so we've used £18 in the taxi. Wing flaps are set, elevator and rudder trim are set, second trim of the taxi. Engine inlet is normal, confirmed. Pitot heat not required. Ice protection not required. Avionics all looking good. And put our transponder on now. Squawking Charlie VFR. Nunciators are all as expected. Just take it out beta. Strobes now can go on. Taxi lights off. Landing lights on. And we'll announce our departure.
Kilo Hotel Quebec Mike traffic November for 9er Tree Kilo taking off runway 6 departing straight out.
Okay, prop is at max, condition lever, and go to high idle. It's before takeoff checklist complete, and we will just get that centered and pop parking brake off. Throttle that down into idle. Okay, well we can sync the heading bug. And I'm just going to leave it in roll mode at the moment because that should just command us straight ahead. So I'm just trying a slightly new procedure there, and I want to start the timer. Okay, and that is the timer started. What am I doing? There we go. Right, fiddling around with different keys. Okay, that's all good to go. Just checking flaps and trim. Setting takeoff power 1740 is our max takeoff torque, but we're anywhere near that. Getting that weather veining. Speed's alive. 61 knots, we'll rotate. Tell them heavy. Those wheels up about 85. There we go, pitch up for 85. Screen to go yellow. That's us at 500 and 85 knots, so we can take out our first notch of flaps. We'll start our turn. We're trapped. Our nav mode, and it's already picked it up. Accelerate through the 95 knots. It's starting to feel a bit spongy in the turn there. I felt it was going a bit too slow. Okay, there was 95. Bug up to 115 FLC. Get it trimmed. can be getting quite a few gusts up here. But anyway, it's always easier when it's trimmed. Okay, our auxiliary fuel pump can go off, our landing lights can go off, flaps are up. This is up 2,000 feet. AGL. Okay, you're done. Now, I should probably speak to KSEA.
Seattle Center November for 9er 3 Kilo is type 4 miles northeast of Kilo Hotel Quebec Mike 2,500 feet. Request flight following.
November for 9er 3 Kilo Seattle Center. Squawk 5374.
That was 5374.
Radar contact 5 miles northeast of Kilo Hotel, Quebec, Mike 3,100 feet. Altimeter tree 0.1 tree.
Roger 9er 3 Kilo.
There's that 200 foot tone. We are 3,500. Light speed build up. Back, and then we put back to 2,000 RPM. And that rudder trim out. Stop weaving all over the sky. Okay, that's fairly nicely trimmed, and we've got 1280 torque, fuel flow 290. Yeah, there's no point in going fast on a short flight like this. Let's hope this huge stutter solves itself. Yeah, it does. Oh, that's the worst stutter I've ever had. Okay, the autopilot on. Okay, we will try and figure out what they're landing at Bremerton. Let's have a look at the real world weather forecast. Bremerton is reporting 3 knots, 140 at the moment, so that suggests runway 5, but it's pretty much crosswind either way, and we will get the automatic weather. AWOS is on 121.2, so we'll get that up to 121.2.
Papa Whiskey Tango, automated weather observation 210 Zulu. Wind calm. Visibility 10. Sky conditions, ceiling 13,500 feet overcast. Temperature 6C.
Okay.
Niner Tree Kilo contact Seattle approach on 121.1. Good day.
So altimeter was 121.5. I'll put that in now. And it is an untowered field. So we'll stick in a variable approach. And I think straight in. So we'll probably go for visual 02. That's about right, isn't it? Yeah, that's right. We will take straight minimums. We'll set a radar to minimum of 200. Just because we can. I'll activate that. And just check the sequencing. Oh, looks good. Great weather today. It's quite warm as well. It was 9 degrees at where I just took off from at Bowerman. 6 degrees up here. Hopefully that's good news. It means that the field, the grass field that I'm hoping to land at, won't have snow all over it. Six knot tailwind as well at the moment. Bouncing me around a bit. $30 miles to run until we pick up our approach fix on that variable approach. Saying 22 nautical miles or 8 minutes to descent. be passing Sanderson through Sierra until November. Should just be down and off to our right hand side somewhere. Just in and around that loop in the river there. There it is there. Sanderson. Traffic. Not a lot of trouble. We've got a couple of Cessnas up in front. One is at pretty much the same altitude actually. I think it's tracking away. Actually there's quite a lot of Cessna traffic. GA traffic up in front. What I said was a loop in a river over there was in fact a channel or an inlet. So just Sanderson should be, there's Sanderson there. Side, and that's the town of Shelton just behind it. Interesting. It's not giving me any TC options. Bit odd. Like it's jammed on transmit. Try tuning something random on COM 2.
Yeah. 121.19 kilo.
No, missed a handoff.
Seattle approach November 499 3 kilo 3,500 feet.
Get that bug where
Kilo Papa Whiskey Tango, automated weather observation, 2100 Zulu. Wind calm.
if you get that bug where you start to lose the audio from when you switch on the COM 2, just test
Seattle approach 93 kilo, cancel flight following.
93 Kilo
Yeah.
Seattle approach, cancellation received. Squawk 1200. Frequency change approved.
Okay, we're starting to get closer to top descent. It's about 5 miles from top descent. Essentially, that's the head of this inlet here. And then we make maybe a 15-degree turn to the left once we get to that head of that inlet. That should be as lined up in runway 2. port's at 444 feet, so we'll set a pattern altitude of 1900. Let's get that in our alt select now. Got a big highway up there. Let's see what road that is. Yeah, Highway 3. Can't tell what kind of class of road it is. Anyway, coming up on top of descent, start thinking about
Vertical track.
and there we go. So we've got our destination, weather and ATIS, arrival briefing. Okay, so we are going to descend to pattern altitude. I'm going to turn left to pick up runway 02. When we land, we should be exiting to the left. Just expecting a slight crosswind from the right. So our altitude select is set for pattern altitude, black engine and light can remain in normal, pitot heat can remain off, oxygen isn't used, altimeter set, CDI is set, power as required, all our seatbelts and shoulder harnesses are good. Just recheck fuel select files, fuel checks wished, all looks good. That's interesting. What I thought was a big highway I could see was actually a clear cut for power lines. Okay, just got the field in sight now. Now. Okay, there's at 1900 feet. No damper can go off. Landing lights can go on, auxiliary fuel pump can go on. There's 130 knots. Well, didn't have first notch flaps. And there's our turn to final. Oh, I was spoken to. So many things you could have clicked.
Kilo Papa Whiskey Tango Traffic November for Niner Tree Kilo is on final runway 02 to land.
Just trying to get the speed below 1. So I'm just going to pitch up to get the speed below 120. There's 108, so that's for flaps.
500.
Okay, check the wind. 80 knots.
Minimums.
Continue. So approaching the threshold at 50 feet. Let's start to deflare. Throw it back to beta. The gentle braking. We can make this. Okay, get the flaps up. Auxiliary fuel pump. Oh, wrong button. Auxiliary fuel pump off. Planning lights can go off. Taxi lights on. Strobe lights off. Pitot heats are already off. Okay, condition lever can go to idle. And I can tell the man clear the runway.
Kilo Papa Whiskey Tango traffic November for 9er Tree Kilo is clear of the runway.
Let's see if we can get in here. Actually, no, I don't want to go in there. Oh. Keep an eye out for a marshaller. No. Seen any? Oh, I'll just take these boats here then. Not very good parking, but I'm going to leave in a second. So. Anyway, throttle to idle. Feather the prop. Our OnAir generators can go off, our climate control can go off. Our nav lights and tax lights off. Just let the engine achieve its minimum ITT. Stabilised at 520. Cut off. Flashing beacon can go off. Can actually put the avionics master off now and turn the battery off. Okay, that completes leg one. We can pop the doors. Unload our next cargo. We'll get this cargo unloaded and get the next cargo up. Yeah, that wasn't 126 feet per minute, 64 knots. Okay, so that's first leg completed, and we will get on with getting the payload for the second leg loaded up. In fact, it's 4 passengers, so all I need to do, who are already on board, so all I need to do is, I'm not going to take any more fuel on board, so I can get going pretty quickly. So all I need to do is offload this cargo. And make a note of our new weight, so it's 6,080 pounds. Not quite though. It's another weird thing it does, it resets the fuel to 500. So I'm actually 842, which means I used 158 on that last flight. But 842, that'd be 421 in each tank. And that's going to give us a weight of 5,742, and the centre of gravity is what? 29.58. Okay, well there's the cargo off, and still got our passengers on board. Not keep them waiting. I've already kept them waiting a day and a half longer than they were supposed to. Okay, and just amend our flight plan in the nav map. So we are going from KPWT Kilo Papa Whiskey Tango to Whiskey November 76, and that's 37 nautical miles as the crow flies, but we are going to fly the one of the VFR routes. We're going to fly, I'll have to find out what direction Seattle's landing. They're landing north. Can see that from the traffic map, so that means we are going to use the Mariner transition, VFR transition, to pass through the Seattle class Bravo. That basically means we aim for, we pick up an entry point over, what island's that? Doesn't say. Anyway, we pick up an entry point to the west of Seattle and then track that to the threshold of 3-4 center. Then once we've crossed that, we track to the southeast, pretty much directly towards our field. Okay, so that's our routing, and time is probably going to be now then, what altitude do we need to do the Mariner at? It's between 1,500 and 2,500, so we'll go at 2.5. I'll just stick. Okay, just yeah, 39 nautical miles with the Mariner transition, 15 minutes. Right. Okay, fuel and payloads on board. Pre-flight weight and balance complete. Passenger briefings complete. All doors are. Oh, we've got a door indicator lamp showing, so we'll just make sure everything is. Yeah, that's all good. Does that sometimes. That might be why. Not sure why it did that. Anyway, all doors are now latched and secure. Master switch can go on, master avionics on, initialize the MFD. Welcome if you've just joined the stream. Just going through my pre-departure checklists and processes for the second leg on this flight today. Now I just want to see how much did I use. I did use 155.
TAWS system test. Okay.
Okay, that's good. But what I want to do is bring up the flight plan screen and then hit the menu button and delete this flight plan. And we'll pop in a new one. So what is it? Kilo Papa. Whiskey Hotel. Whiskey Tango. That's it. Bremerton, and it was runway 2. And we are going to Whiskey November 76. Bergseth Field, runway A. I'm going to say runway 10. Okay, that's all good. Flight plan loaded and active. Parking brake is set. Our engine inlet can remain in normal. Fuel selector valves left and right open. And firewall fuel pushed. Emergency power lever is normal. Power lever is idle. Prop is favored. Condition lever is cut off. Wing flaps are up. Circuit breakers pushed. Cabin heat is off. Now what are we taking off at 5,700? So rotate it 57. Rotate at 57 and land at 67. Our takeoff torque will be 1740 and 1680 maximum for the climb. Autopilot we don't need to test because we already have, but what I will do is clear all those modes that were on there before just by cycling the flight director. Don't need ATC clearance. Okay, we can now go for our engine start. And second flight of the day, so we can go for a high motor battery powered start. Just check, we've still got 147 degrees of ITT, which is below 200. Ideally it would be below 100. So what I can do is I can dry motor the engine a little bit. So bus voltage is checked, 25 shown, flashing beacon can go on, emergency power level is normal, auxiliary fuel pump on, ignition switch not required for a high start, and we'll go for a high start, enunciated, zero fuel flow, NG rising. Okay, that's ITT below 100, and I'll bring the condition limit to low idle. What I did there was I motored the engine without introducing fuel, and that pushes cold air over the engine, helps cool it down. And there's our ITT peaked and dropping, so probably go to maximum. Start it and go off. Auxiliary fuel pump off, alternators and generators on, navigation lights on, taxi lights on. Set of power G1000. So what do we want? 2,500. There we go. And we'll put in flight level change mode on the flight director and dial in 85 for the climb out. Don't need to change our pressure because it should be the same as it was before. Now what I do need to do is, I didn't stop the timer, reset it now, and we do have an active flight plan, all good. Right, for a taxi we will just swing around to the right and taxi. What's it calling it? It's calling it taxiway Alpha, of course, all the way down to runway 02. We'll take off from there. We might take an intersection actually. Might take the intersection at Golf. We'll climb out, no turns below 500 feet, flaps at 85 and 95, and then we will have to turn pretty hard right and take a track, slight track about, probably going to be about 110 to pick up the Mariner transition through the class Bravo. As long as we stay below 5,000 feet we won't bust the Bravo. In fact, as long as we stay at our 2,500 feet we'll have to be really close to Seattle before we come into the Bravo, so that's good. Alright, that's our departure briefing. ADC clearance, we'll just announce our taxi now.
Kilo Papa Whiskey Tango Traffic November for 9er Tree Kilo is taxiing to runway 20.
Okay, parking brakes can go off. Let's get moving. Just come off the apron onto Alpha. Coming.
Kilo Papa Whiskey Tango, automated weather observation 2200 Zulu. Wind calm. Visibility 10. Sky condition, few clouds at 3,300 feet, few clouds at 4,700 feet, ceiling 13,500 feet, overcast. Temperature 6C, 2.10C, altimeter tree 015.
015. Yeah, I thought the altimeter had changed.
Kilo Papa Whiskey Tango, automated weather observation 2200 Zulu. Wind calm. Visibility 10. Sky condition, few clouds at 3,300. Kilo Papa Whiskey Tango, automated weather observation 2200 Zulu. Wind calm. Visibility 10. Sky condition, few clouds at 3,300 feet. Kilo Papa Whiskey Tango, automated weather observation 2200 Zulu.
I've broken the
Wind
radio.
calm. Visibility.
Okay, there's Gulf there. Yeah, no wind chewing on the windsaw. Okay, well, let's pop the parking brake on there and do our before takeoff checklist. So inertial relev is still on, selectors are still on, our firewall fuel shutoff is pushed. Flight instruments. Correct. Auxiliary fuel pump can go on. Fuel quantity. £14 used. 828 on board. Wing flaps are set. Elevator trim is set, rudder trim is set. Engine inlet can remain normal, pitot heat not required, ice protection not required. Avionics, barometer set, altitude select is set. Everything is looking good. Annunciators as expected. Transponder, and we are squawking Charlie VFR. Okay, strobes on, taxi lights off, landing lights on, parking brake off, condition limit height on.
Kilo Papa Whiskey Tango Traffic November for 9er Tree Kilo, taking off runway 20 north departure.
I was taking off runway 2. I'm taking off runway 2. Maybe because I was taking an intersection. Oh, the sooner Sobo sort out the ATC. Okay, get ourselves lined up, sync the heading dog, start the timer. Set takeoff power, 740 is our max. Speed's alive. 57.8. Pitch up for 85.
Minimums.
Oh, shouldn't have done that. Anyway. turns below 500. Okay, just let the speed build back again. Get it above 85 to first notch flaps out. Start our turn. There's 96 to second notch flaps out. There are gusts around. Okay, fuel pump can go off, landing lights can go off, confirmed flaps are up. There's 2,300, there's our 200 dome. Let's throttle back. And then bring the prop back to 2,000. I'm going to turn the flight director off for now. Actually, no, I'll put it back on and give it in heavy mode. Pick up that Mariner transition, which is not on the track, shown on the MFD. Okay, so I'll put it in heading mode. Some heading bug. The Seattle Vortac on 116.8. Mark 1. That's a pretty good guide. In fact, we changed the CDI to VR1 and we put in a course of 270 radial. Maybe the 090 radial will work with it actually. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, except not really. Anyway, gives me a general idea. So to pick up the Mariner transition, I'm just coming up on it here. We have the 76 is our kind of entry point here. You can see Seattle ahead. What I haven't done is spoken to ATC.
Seattle approach November for 9er Tree Kilo is type 1 miles west of 2 Sierra 1 2,400 feet. Request flight following. Squawk Tree 62 for 9er Tree Kilo. Roger 9er Tree Kilo. Seattle approach November for 9er Tree Kilo. Request clearance to transition Bravo airspace.
November for 9er Tree, Kilo Seattle approach. Cleared through the Bravo airspace.
Now, because I'm on a VFR transition route, actually you don't need to get clearance to do that, but the simulator doesn't account for that.
9er Tree Kilo, did you hear my last transmission?
Cleared through Bravo airspace 9er Tree Kilo.
So we're going to get down to 2,500. Probably going to be landing traffic coming in, but the idea with this VFR approach is that you cross. So there's 3/4 the threshold. I'm aiming straight for that. By coming across the threshold at 2,500 feet, you are not interfering with their approaches. But at that point they should be at 50 feet. So as soon as we cross the threshold, yeah, there should be a landing Alaska somewhere right beneath us. See one's rolling. You can see a few southwests down there. There's 3-4 left. Oh yeah, there he is. He's just landed 3-4 left. Okay, that's just picked up 3/4 now. So now we want to turn to the southeast to exit transition. Turn to about 135. So we're in the heading mode now, and then 135. I can change the CPI to nav.
Tree Kilo contact Seattle approach on 123.85. Good day.
123.85 9er Tree Kilo. Seattle approach November for 9er Tree Kilo 2,500 feet.
November for 9er Tree, Kilo Seattle, approach altimeter 30.15. Continue as planned.
So altimeter didn't change. carry on this track, and we will actually then intercept what would have been our direct route. Good views of Mount Rainier. So Bergseth is at 1100 feet, so that'll give a pattern altitude of just 2,400. What am I saying? 1100 feet to 2,100. Just 400 feet lower. Now it's a grass strip. So it appears to be in the foothills, wooded foothills, just off this plain. I'm expecting it to be surrounded by trees. We will need to put our engine into bypass for this landing. I'm going to start slowing things down nice and early actually for this. Yeah, just 11 miles to go. Cancel our flight following now. It's already been cancelled. Ones are picking up our direct track. There we go. 76, tuning out traffic. The wind is going to be a crosswind by the looks of it. I'll go for, I think the terrain will be easier with runway 10.
Whiskey November 76 traffic November for Niner 3 kilo 11 miles northwest, 2,500 feet, inbound to land runway 10.
So vertical speed mode selected and indicated. I'll just come down at 700 feet per minute. And I've got to max. Put our auxiliary fuel pump on and I'll put our landing lights on. I'm doing this all super early. Okay, it's 2100 feet. That's it's going to be a pattern altitude. So what I'll do is I will fly over the field at pattern altitude. I'll enter the right hand downwind for 10 and we'll scope it out. I'm not going to attempt to land on it straight away. Watch the speed, watch the speed.
Vertical track.
Okay, first much flaps. I think that might be it in that clearing up ahead. I hope so, that doesn't look too bad if that's the case. Well, I'm not going to descend any further. The autopilot can go off. The autopilot can go off. Flight director off. Not in that clearing. parallel the track now and a little bit to the right of it. It's the hardest thing about flying into these little grass strips is identifying them. There's a kind of a hill there, which doesn't look too cool. It's kind of right in the middle of the approach. This could be interesting. I think it's a gliding field normally. Okay, let's see if we can get the speed down below 100. No wind showing. Okay, there's 120. I'm just going to go flaps 20, try and get myself nice and slow. Oh man, there's terrain. It's added up there on that little plateau. Some sense. Okay, there it is there. This is why I'm not attempting to land, wasn't attempting to land on it first go. There's just too much going on. So we've got trees pretty much close to the threshold.
500.
Trees at the other threshold, a lot of terrain that side. Fine. We will. This is going to be interesting. Just going to loop back round. I didn't make a left-hand turn there into base because of terrain. Get myself back up to pattern altitude. Watching my speed. This is what I love flying the Kodiak modes, doing this stuff. It's so much more interesting. So there's that lump of a hill, and there's the field there. So we're just sitting up on that plateau, but that's good. That hill provides us a lead-in visual reference. The other good reason for not attempting a landing straight away and coming off the autopilot and hand flying, this gives you a chance to get the feel for the aircraft back. Right, there's a pond up in front, yeah, I want to track over that. Let's leave that slightly to the right. We'll get a couple of miles away before we begin our turn-in, so it's plenty of space. runway is on a heading of 098. So OBS and dial in. It's already on 098. That's good. Okay, that'll act as a lead-in. Okay, that's 4 miles. That's enough. No worries, Andrew. Thank you for the feedback. You've been enjoying them.
Whiskey November 76 traffic November for 9er Tree Kilo is on final runway 10 to land.
I haven't come to bush flying tutorials yet, so this is like a preview. Well, judge for yourself whether I'm worth listening to. Okay, I want to bring the torque back. Just want to get pitch up a little bit. Just get the speed under 108. Goes 108. Flaps 35. Strobes are on. Landing lights are on. Inertial separator is on. Snipers, high ball, props maximum. Fuel selects left and right are open. Short field landing, so we'll aim to cross the trees at 73. And then we'll reduce power smoothly. I'll go to reverse. Probably shouldn't need to go to reverse, it's 2,000 foot runway, or 72 to watch the power. Don't want to get any lower. Check.
500.
Check is good, there's no wind. Okay, we'll clear the obstacles, start to bring the power back. Try not to float it. Okay, reverse. Heavy braking. Go back on the elevator, get the flaps up. Easy squeezy. Okay, the fuel pump can go off. See if there's any kind of parking spaces here. I don't think there are. Bring it over here. There's kind of all those houses and things down there, but I don't really want to go down that steep bank. I might not get back up it. Oh, there is a parking spot according to the little nav map. Let's see if I can get on it. down this slope. Thank you very much. So all I would say is if you're coming in to land at a bush strip you've never landed it before, don't try and land on it first go, always overfly it. Give yourself, brief it, figure out, oh it's not too steep. Give yourself that opportunity to work out what you're doing. Do those landing lights and strobes off. Way! You start to accelerate, funnily enough, when you're going downhill. Now this is the parking spot, according to Little Man Map. And that'll have to do. Right, pop the parking brakes on. And the condition lever can go to low idle and affect the prop. Get our alternators and generators off. Oh, I hadn't even turned on my air conditioning. Oh well. Fortunately I wasn't flying too high. Right. ITT is stabilised. Condition lever to cut off. And stop the timer. $27 And how much fuel did I use? I used 147 pounds. Cool. Right, anyone who tells you you can't fly the Kodiak into bush strips is lying. Fuel selectors left and right off. Pull the firewall, fuel shut off. Get the nav lights off, beacon can go off. Avionics master off and battery off, and pop the doors. What a spot. Cool, right, what did little nav map, that was 125 feet per minute at 66 knots, so I'll take that for a bush strip landing. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I don't think I'm going to be doing any more flying tonight. That was enough excitement, but good to be landing at a bush strip again instead of some big airport. So, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, as with, I'll do some more tutorials, probably be next week sometime before I can do the next one. Problem is I just enjoy flying too much rather than making tutorials, but I will make some more soon. Have a good one and see you soon.